So today I just wanted to hop on and make a quick video about women not having friends and why people don't have friends, or why, mostly just gauging it towards women. Okay, so hi, I'm Allicia, Allicia J, the walking talking baby doll, and hopefully I'm here to give you a good day or a better day. Okay, so this is just kind of like a random idea, and I still have a video that I need to do about friends, and I coupled it with I guess careers and networking type of relationships. So I'm still gonna do that type of video, and it's gonna be in the style of like me on like just a radio kind of FM, I don't know what to call that series, and put it in a playlist. But I should show two pictures here of videos that I've done similar to that. Okay, so I kind of noticed that online and in real life, there's this stigma with women who don't have friends. Really, in general, people who don't have friends can get these stigmas too. So just because I'm talking about women, if you're a man watching this, you can also relate. But there's stigmas that being a woman and not having friendships in your life is 100% your fault. Same thing, a little bit of the same thing too with the people who choose to go no contact with their family or their mother, or like if you're a woman and it's your mother, right? It's like, oh my God, that's the worst thing that you could ever do. And there's never an emphasis on what could the outside parties of people do better. It's always you and your fault. All right. So I think this is because this heightened rhetoric of certain ideologies online, that if your life doesn't happen the way that you imagine it, it is completely your fault. Not that you have all of these other elements working with you or against you from the day you're born that will also decide kind of like your destiny, essentially. I still think that there is destiny written in your soul contract, so to speak. It's like a fine print, whether it's a setup or what, girl, I don't know, but or whether you just willingly agree to it. I don't know. But I do feel like there's a small amount of your destiny that's prefixed and it can't be changed. You can watch my other video about the things that I learned. I think that was during Christmas time, if you want to hear more about that. But to put it in perspective, people think that women who don't have friends and don't socialize and all this stuff, okay, the first thing is they're going to think that you're like a weirdo or something wrong with you. Same thing, if you haven't cultivated any relationships, not just friendships, but it kind of makes you question your own self-worth and have doubts at times. I'm not gonna lie, because you'll sit there and be like, what is wrong with me? Because a lot of the time, like I said, there's this constant reinforcement of you did something wrong, it's your fault, to the reason why it's not happening for you. Okay, you're not affirming enough, you're not working on yourself enough, especially with this hyper self-improvement thing that's been going on too, and hyper analysis. I constantly talk about that in the social media growing space. But that point was just like, basically you're seen as like a weirdo. You're possibly seen as, now that we have all of these people who are trying to diagnose maladaptive concepts, or they're trying to pretty much armchair psychologists online to talk about who's the narcissist. Oh, let me analyze this whole video of this woman and let me show you how she's manipulative, or he's this or that. And it's like, if these people aren't professionally diagnosed, you can call them whatever they are, but it'll probably be better to say that this person has characteristics of being manipulative, being a narcissist, being antisocial. You can't just get online and say, oh look, this person is narcissist. Okay, there's people that have been in my life, I say would be narcissistic, but I cannot say that. I can always say that the only thing that I can say is this is a person who more than likely appears to be a person with narcissistic personality disorder. But I can't just say, oh, yep, that's a narcissist there. That those two things clinically and just calling somebody a narcissist is two different things. And I'm getting sidetracked with that, but I'm just want to say, like, this whole, like, this is toxic, this person is toxic. Oh, if I go on a date and for whatever reason I ask them what's their favorite color and they tell me they don't have a favorite color, oh my god, this person is a serial killer. Like, it's escalating into to deeply psychoanalyze out of fear of messing up. And I know, like, it's a lot of crazy people, and by crazy I'm not necessarily talking about mental disorders. I'm just talking about people who will, you don't know if you're gonna do something, look at them the wrong way and slightly step on their shoe, and you get pew-pewed, or you get found somewhere gone. You know what I mean? So I completely understand that, especially with these times with what's going on with, like, our presidency and all that stuff. We don't know how this is going to go in the next couple of years. So to not want to be so friendly with people just because you can, I understand that. Especially those of us who are not privileged to grow up in areas where we could just openly trust people. If you've grown up in an area where you always have to be hyper vigilant and have your head on a swivel, you already know what time it is, so you're prepared, but it's certain things like that depict how someone will grow up as an adult, and their mannerisms and how they act around people. Are they more introverted? Are they more shy? All these things. Some of us have just been that way, shy, introverted. This world does not, I don't want to say favor, but it doesn't uplift introversion personality types as much as extroverted personality types. And I can't stand that. Okay, it makes me personally not really want to participate in any of this bullshit. It's all kind of like a fixed game at times, but there's a stigma that people who don't have friends, that you don't want them. That's another big concept. You don't want them. You just want to be a loner. You just want to do your own thing out here in these streets. You just like, not everybody is like that. Like me in my situation, I want friends. Do I want like, I had to get myself right tons of times. I have refined it so many times. It's been about a good 9-8 year process of me trying to find friends. Look inside myself and see what's up. Look outside and see what I'm getting from other people. And I constantly get the same feedback. I'm sweet, I'm nice, all these things, but people do not want to be friends with me personally. They don't value me the way that I value myself. So at this point, I could take it or leave it. You understand? It's not something that I personally said, oh, everybody's like acting this way with me. Well, F them. I don't want no friends. No, not everybody's on that type tip. Also, just because you say in comment sections that, oh, I don't have friends, or I don't have these type of people in my life, people think that you're saying that and it's like a flex. And I'm like, where the fuck is that coming from? Like, just because somebody openly says, I don't have friends, I don't have family, really like on some loner, dark night of the soul stuff, that's being taken as it's a flex. And it's like, no, nobody feels like they got it made. They feel like they have less stress in their life, and you don't know what they've gone through to cancel out the negativity and get rid of actual toxic people in their life. You don't know if their family was a bunch of narcissists or just very, very dark people, in a sense, spiritually, that took a lot out of them. So they choose to not have people in their life right now so they could do their healing work. It's like you don't know. You're just making these assumptions that women without friends, they hate. Oh, that's another one. Women without friends, they don't like women. They don't prefer female connections or anything of the sort. They don't prefer to be connected to women. Call cap on that. No, I call cap on that. And I'm gonna be completely honest, it's not like that women and friendships with girls have been as sometimes more disappointing than trying to make relationships with guys. And I say that because it's more heartbreaking. I was talking to my mom about this not too long ago. It's more heartbreaking when you get disappointed in a girl, right? Because you're thinking we both girls, we both similar. Like my pain, your pain, you know, we supposed to be like synced in and connected like that. And when the switch up happens with a girl, that's a whole different level of heartbreak, I think, and betrayal and treachery. And it could hurt worse. The betrayal, if you ask me, because of like the air quote catty natures of women in the patriarchal society, it's even more, what is the word? It can cause one to become more drained emotionally, mentally, physically, trying to take on cultivating these relationships. And that's not necessarily always the person. And I'm not saying nobody should play like they're the victim, but I'm saying if a person is actively, you should ask them first, like, well, what is it that made you go into where you are today? Or like ask them something like that instead of be like, well, what's wrong with you? You know, it's very redundant and slightly dismissive to one's personal experience as a woman. You know, just because you get along well with women and you exist in climates where there's gossip and there's behaviors like that, that doesn't mean that other women want to, or that's not their personality to behave in those ways. And so if they come across people who are like that, they may not want to be friends with them. Just as you're getting older anyways, you start to refine. Like I was saying earlier, I had to refine what type of friends do I want in my life. And I remember at one point I had to catch myself. I was like, wait, I'm trying to manifest people who are just like a group of friends, you know, and stuff like that. But I'm like, wait, that could be anybody. I need a group of healthy individuals that coincide well and complement my personality, and it's fun when we're together. Like I had to get specific about what I'm looking for. And when you get specific about what you're looking for personally, I find that when you put that out to whatever you believe in, God, universe, blah, blah, when you put that out there like that, what you think that you want and you deserve specifically, for that package to be delivered to you in a pretty little bow and like, here, this is exactly what you requested, you know. Some things, it could be like Amazon, 2-day shipping. But some things, it could be like you're getting shipping from Alibaba 2-3 months later down the line, years down the line, a year down the line. And so for the universe to get this specific order completely right and helpful and benefiting and loving and something that you really, you know that you want it, you know that you deserve it, and you 100% know that it's going to be beneficial for you in your lifetime and also for these people, and it's your true soul family or calling. Requesting that takes you going through different experiences, learning different things. If you're a homebody, you may be pushed to start to grow and get out of the house more, and that may take you some time, a year or two, just to learn how to go and do things actively and stuff like that. And in this process, you won't have friends because you're trying to figure it out. And I feel like nowadays, to be in this like figured out stage of your life is seen as like such a terrible, awful thing when it's so normal. It's normal for a lot of people. Everybody's on a different path, a different timeline than everybody else. But I think the emphasis of seeing everyone get online and do their thing, you know, and you're constantly being put into, like, even if you're a person who doesn't naturally compare yourself to others, you are going to now, you know. Yeah, man, is if you being a woman does not mean any of these things. If you can't make friends at this time in your life, it just might not be the chapter, you know. What is that? It's a show on Netflix. I'm gonna show a picture or something, but it's a show on Netflix. Frankie and some whatever. They became really good friends, and they're like what, 70, 65 plus women. So you don't really know when these relationships, when this soul family is gonna walk into your life and be there for you. It might be a time where you really need it more than ever. And I think that stigmatizing women who aren't like I don't even know how to place this. Being a woman and not having a sister or sisters, that right there. Women who have sisters, they don't really feel the need to have a bunch of other girls, and they can easily attract because they're not looking for it. But I also find that having sisters teach you how to maintain the ebb and flow and the licks, the punches, the licks, the kicks, and the good days and memories that comes with maintaining a relationship with a women friendships, right? If you don't have those things, and if you're not constantly being exposed and being around other women, like in a community of some sort, those social skills, you're not going to be equipped when you get around a group of women and all they want to do is talk about the other one when the other one leaves out of the room, and they're not going to know if they're trusting of you. It's kind of like this, I call it like a jump in the gang type of mentality every time I'm around a group of women, right? It's like being in a lioness den, and if you're not gonna prove to them that you're also this stereotype of what a lioness is, and don't be pretty, don't be smart, it's like certain things that you have to show a negative, a messy side of yourself that's going to be relatable enough for them to jump you in. And if you get jumped in and you survive, they like you. But for girls who don't have those social skills and don't really want to participate in all of that, and you're not exposed to a huge community of ladies, whether it's like doing sorority, doing whatever, if you're just not used to it, you don't like being bullied, you've been bullied tons of times, you've gone through traumatic relationships with both men and women, some people just don't want to be stressed out. You know, but it's not like these people choose to not have these relationships. They didn't grow up like when they were a kid and they were just like, man, when I get older, definitely not gonna have no friends and be like Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City. I think a lot of us felt that way. But when we get into trying to cultivate these relationships, we like, damn, it's a lot of stuff that I didn't know it takes to maintain it, and to also feel like this person is reciprocating what I'm maintaining as well. Nobody talks about that, whether it's romantic, platonic. Nobody talks about that. And the older you get, you start to see that. Sorry, ladies, but the friendships with women, if you don't select properly, it could be drama. It could easily be drama and like I said, unnecessary catty behaviors, and you can't fault people for taking time off of that, or saying it's gonna come when it comes, or maybe they're in their healing journey and they're trying to find themselves. Like, I don't know. I've heard like on TikTok saying that women who are like no friends and stuff, they automatically are toxic. And that's not always the case. Like I said, from all of these things that I just said, you don't know the exact reason why. I don't know. Unless you have a ways to back up that this person is toxic, and you are a psychologist. Even a psychologist that can't properly test someone but wants to sit there and take notes cannot always be like, you can't diagnose a person clinically like that, or whatever you think you're doing in your mind. This hyper analysis era that we're in. But that's just my personal thoughts on the whole friendship thing. Anybody who's ever felt like this, anybody who wants to comment on anything that I've said in the video, just let me know your thoughts and opinions. Are you a girl that has no friendships? A lot of the times, before I click off, a lot of the times when a woman doesn't have friendships and she hasn't stacked up these other type of relationships in her life. So I'm not going to talk about like her physiological needs. So like she has a job, she's working, networking, doing what she has to do in that regard to have shelter, food, and all that. I'm talking about a woman who says she's not stressing on the dating thing. She's not stressing to have kids and have marriage. She might show up in other places in the community, but these major like relationships, dynamics in her life, a woman who usually falls into that category is a very intelligent woman, and she can tend to intellectualize too much. I'll be honest, I'll play devil's advocate on this channel. I do it a lot. She can intellectualize their pain or their trauma too much. I forget how psychologists say it, but you can intellectualize yourself too much and make yourself more miserable. All right, that is a thing. But usually women who are in this category have just figured out all the ways that life can finesse me, take up too much of my mental capacity, try to make me care for things that don't matter, involve me in unnecessary drama and more heartbreak and more trauma that I really don't want to deal with, because who knows, I may feel like I might have a fucking mental breakdown at that point. They just want to mind their business and enjoy life without getting stuck in this like maze, this social construction maze that has been socially engineered for them to fall right into each of these traps or whatever. Not to say that people who have made those decisions are always in traps or anything, but I'm just saying, just trying to get it out. But women who do make decisions like that, that's why. And they're brilliant, they're smart, because they can see what other people choose to ignore or just emotionally blindly fall into. A woman like that is more emotionally balanced, logically balanced, able to work on herself in her life before she even says, let me add these dynamics to be better in all of these relationships. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Get in the comments. Definitely like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.